You've seen the images, burning tanks scattered across battlefields, smoke rising into the sky, and twisted metal left behind after the fighting ends. The M4 Sherman became one of the most recognizable tanks of the Second World War, produced in massive numbers and sent into nearly every major theater of conflict. But behind those images lies a far more disturbing question. What actually happened to the men inside when a Sherman was hit in combat? To understand that reality, we first need to look at how this tank came into existence, how it was designed, and why its crews often faced dangers far beyond what most people imagine. Before the United States fully entered the Second World War, its armored forces were relatively underdeveloped compared to European powers that had already been refining their tank doctrines. Early American designs were limited, and the urgency of global conflict forced rapid development of a new medium tank that could be produced quickly and deployed at scale. The result was the Sherman, a vehicle designed with reliability and mass production in mind, but one that would soon face far more dangerous threats than its designers had fully anticipated. Before the Sherman, the United States relied on interim designs like the M3 Lee, a tank that reflected both ingenuity and limitation. Its unusual layout, with a side-mounted main gun, revealed the challenges engineers faced at the time. While it served its purpose in early engagements, it was clear that a more advanced and flexible design was needed. The Sherman would build upon these lessons, combining improved firepower, mobility, and production efficiency into a single platform ready for large-scale war. The Sherman was not designed to be the most heavily armored or the most powerful tank on the battlefield. Instead, it was built to be reliable, easy to produce, and capable of supporting infantry across a wide range of combat scenarios. Thousands rolled off production lines, ensuring that American and Allied forces could maintain numerical strength even after suffering losses. However, this emphasis on production and reliability came with compromises that would become painfully clear once the tank entered real combat. When Shermans first entered combat in North Africa, they faced experienced German forces equipped with effective anti-tank weapons and well-developed tactics. For many American crews, these battles marked their first exposure to large-scale armored warfare. The results were often brutal, as inexperienced crews encountered enemy guns capable of penetrating their armor and destroying their vehicles in seconds, revealing the harsh realities of mechanized combat. Among the most feared threats faced by Sherman crews was the German 88mm gun, originally designed for anti-aircraft use, but devastatingly effective against tanks. Its high velocity allowed it to penetrate armor at long distances, often striking before crews even realized they were under threat. A hit from such a weapon could instantly disable a Sherman, turning the interior into a chaotic and dangerous environment filled with fragments, heat, and shock. When a shell penetrated a Sherman's armor, the effects inside were immediate and violent. Even without explosives, the force of penetration sent fragments of metal, known as spall, flying through the interior at high speed. These fragments could strike crew members, equipment, and ammunition, creating a deadly environment in a fraction of a second. The confined space of the tank amplified the danger, leaving little room for escape or protection. One of the most critical weaknesses of early Shermans was the placement of their ammunition. Shells were stored in vulnerable positions along the sides of the hull, where incoming rounds were most likely to strike. When these rounds were hit, the result could be catastrophic, as burning propellant and explosive charges ignited almost instantly, turning the tank into a rapidly escalating fire hazard. If ammunition ignited, the interior of the tank could fill with flames within seconds. The combination of fuel, explosives, and confined space created a situation where heat and smoke overwhelmed the crew almost immediately. In many cases, the fire spread so quickly that escape became extremely difficult, forcing crew members to react instantly or risk being trapped inside. Escaping a damaged tank required speed, coordination, and a degree of luck. Crew members had to locate and open hatches, often while dealing with smoke, fire, and disorientation. In early Shermans, limited hatch space created bottlenecks, forcing multiple crew members to exit through narrow openings, slowing evacuation at the worst possible moment. Inside a Sherman, 5 crew members operated in a tightly packed environment, each with specific roles and positions. When the tank was hit, this confined layout made movement difficult, especially if equipment shifted or if casualties blocked escape routes. The complexity of the interior added to the challenge of evacuating quickly under extreme conditions. The moment of impact was often followed by confusion and disorientation, as the crew attempted to understand what had happened and react accordingly. Smoke, noise, and the shock of the hit made communication difficult, forcing individuals to rely on instinct and training to escape or continue fighting. Although Shermans were equipped with fire extinguishers, their effectiveness in combat situations was limited. In many cases, the rapid spread of fire made it impractical to attempt suppression, leaving evacuation as the only viable option for survival. Later in the war, modifications such as wet ammunition storage significantly reduced the likelihood of catastrophic fires. By surrounding ammunition with liquid-filled compartments, the risk of ignition was lowered, improving crew survival rates and addressing one of the Sherman's most serious vulnerabilities. Tank crews trained extensively to evacuate quickly under adverse conditions, practicing drills that allowed them to react without hesitation. This training played a crucial role in improving survival, enabling crews to escape even when visibility was limited and time was critical. Not all hits resulted in catastrophic destruction. Some tanks were disabled without catching fire, allowing crews more time to escape. These situations, while still dangerous, offered a higher chance of survival compared to immediate ignition scenarios. One advantage of the Sherman was its ability to be recovered and repaired after being knocked out. Maintenance crews could often restore damaged vehicles, returning them to service and maintaining operational strength despite losses. The survival of a tank crew depended heavily on coordination and teamwork. Each member had a role not only in operating the tank, but also in ensuring rapid evacuation when necessary, highlighting the importance of cohesion under pressure. After combat, disabled tanks often remained on the battlefield as silent reminders of the violence that had taken place. These vehicles provided insight into the effects of different weapons and the challenges faced by those inside. Post-war analysis revealed important insights into tank survivability and crew safety, influencing future designs and leading to improvements in armor, ammunition storage, and escape systems. In the end, the story of the Sherman is not just about machines, but about the people who operated them under extreme conditions. Their experiences highlight both the strengths and limitations of wartime technology, leaving behind lessons that continue to shape modern armored warfare today.